Hello and welcome. Today we're going on a really exciting journey together. We're setting out to discover the treasures of national identity, and we're going to be looking specifically at the incredible story of Saudi Arabia. We'll explore everything that makes this identity so rich and unique, from its deepest roots to its vibrant modern culture.
So, are you ready? Because what we're really asking is, what are those special ingredients that make a nation's identity? It's this amazing mix of land, of belief, of culture, and of shared symbols. And we're going to break down each of these pillars as they relate to the Saudi identity.
Okay, so to get started, we need a clear starting point. What do we actually mean when we say national identity? It's a phrase we hear all the time, but the pieces that make it up are really specific and, honestly, pretty profound.
Well, the official definition describes it as the shared traits that show love for the homeland, loyalty to its leadership, and pride in its symbols. But let's put that in simpler terms. It's not just a feeling. Think of it more like an invisible thread that connects everyone in a society, a shared understanding of who you are together.
Now, the source material this explainer is based on uses a couple of characters, Ahmed and Noura, to explore these ideas, which is a great way to do it. For our purposes, though, we're going to dive straight into the big concepts themselves to really get a deep and full understanding of what we're talking about. So, the first stop on our journey, the very foundation of it all, is the homeland, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I mean, the land itself provides the physical and historical stage where a national identity can be built.
But the idea of a homeland, or al-Watan in Arabic, is so much more than just lines on a map, isn't it? It's this deep sense of belonging that's rooted in the stories of your ancestors, and it's a promise you make to the future, to your children and grandchildren. It's all about legacy.
And you really can't talk about Saudi Arabia's identity without talking about its unique place in the world. It is the cradle of revelation, the Mahbatul Wahi, and of course it's home to the two holiest cities in Islam, Mecca and Medina. This gives it a religious significance that is just unparalleled for more than 1 billion Muslims around the globe.
This prayer from the Prophet Ibrahim, which is mentioned in the Quran, just shows how deep that spiritual connection to the land goes. And think about what it's asking for, security and prosperity. Those are foundational values that are still absolutely central to the nation's spirit today.
Okay, so we've talked about the land, the physical foundation. Now let's look at the second pillar, the national culture. You could almost think of this as the software that runs on the hardware of the homeland. It's that beautiful, complex system of religion, language, and heritage.
So, what is a national culture? Simply put, it's the shared way of life. It's the values, the ideas, the customs, all the things that create a community's unique personality and helps everyone feel connected.
And Saudi culture is made up of so many amazing parts. You have these big foundational elements like the Islamic faith and the beautiful Arabic language, but then you also have the things you can see and touch every day, like folk arts, traditional clothing, and, of course, the incredible food. Every single piece is a vital part of this giant cultural mosaic.
And these customs and traditions, they aren't just ideas in a textbook, right? They are the living, breathing parts of the culture. Just think about the deeply ingrained rituals of hospitality, like how Arabic coffee is served, or the big family celebrations that bring everyone together. That's culture in action.
All right, next up on our adventure, let's look at the national symbols. These are like the powerful icons that visually represent everything we've just talked about, the country's unity and its core values, all wrapped up in a single image.
And the most important symbol is, of course, the national flag. You have this vibrant green color, and right in the center is the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith, and right below it, a sword. Every part of it is there for a reason, and it's just layered with meaning.
You know, the flag has some really unique rules that show how deeply respected it is. For instance, because it has the sacred words of the Tawheed on it, it's never ever flown at half-mast. That level of respect, plus the sword symbolizing justice and a design that's hundreds of years old, well, that makes it an incredibly powerful symbol.
The national emblem works in a similar way. You've got two crossed swords, which again stand for justice, and they're right underneath a palm tree. The palm tree is such a classic symbol of the region, and it represents growth, life, and prosperity. Now, there are also two very important dates that mark the nation's story. First, you have Founding Day on February 22nd. This one celebrates the very beginning, the establishment of the first Saudi state way back in 1727. It's about those deep, historic roots. Then you have National Day on September 23rd, which celebrates the modern unification of the kingdom in 1932.
So, as we reach the end of our journey, you can see how all these things we've talked about, the homeland, the culture, the symbols, they're not separate things. They all weave together, support each other, and combine to create this powerful and really distinct sense of shared identity and pride.
And that's the real magic of it. This deep understanding of history, this connection to a living culture, and this respect for shared symbols. That's what turns a group of people into a nation. It creates this shared story that becomes a source of both community strength and personal pride.
You know, national identity is such a fascinating thing because it's both a huge collective idea and also something that's deeply personal. For one person, it might be the history that resonates. For another, it might be the values or the family traditions. It connects with each of us in its own unique way.
And all of this brings us to this powerful declaration, which really sums up everything we've explored. I am Saudi, my religion is Islam, my language is Arabic, my homeland is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and I am proud of my national identity. It's a perfect, concise summary of a complex, beautiful, and deeply rooted identity.